Hello and welcome to welcome to Common Sense Talk with Paul Fadumo. Of course, I'm thinking like you're like, okay, this is not Paul Fadumo. Yes, I know. My name is Ejiro Osakede, as you can see on the screen, and it's a delight to be here with you on this first edition or first episode of Common Sense Talk with Paul Fadumo. Okay, so today's show is just going to be more about what's it called now? Introductions. I'm going to be introducing myself. I'm going to be introducing Paul Fadumo. Paul Fadumo is going to be introducing himself because this is going to be a show where both of us are going to be talking about different issues that that we face on daily basis, right? That's why it's called common sense. And so we're going to be talking or sharing our opinions or our thoughts concerning different topic or different subject matters that affect us, especially as Africans, and even more especially as African youth. Okay, so welcome to this fantastic episode. And I really cannot wait to dive in for you to meet us today. Like I said, today's episode is just going to be more about introductions and tell you how this is going to be going. It's going to be coming live to you every Thursday and Sunday, 6 p.m. UAE time, 3 p.m. Nigerian time, and 7:30 p.m. Indian time, right? I mean, we are global now, so we don't do local things. You know what I'm saying? All right, so thank you and welcome once again. So today, basically, like I said, we're going to be talking introductions, but as you join us on this broadcast, please, whatever platform you're joining from, just kind of let me know or let us know where you are joining from. You know, what part of the world are you joining from? Let's see that in the comment section. And as we also discuss, please feel free to, drop your comments, engage with us. If you have questions, feel free to type it in the comment section, and we're going to be interacting with your question. We want this to be a very interactive show. So also, as you connect with us today, please do give us your feedback as well, maybe in the comment section, or you can send us an email to info@springmedia.ae. Also, you can share the link with your friends. So please, as you're connecting, share the link, whether you're connecting on YouTube or you're connecting on Facebook, please share the link with your friends so that, the more the merrier now. You know what I'm saying? Don't enjoy alone. Let's all enjoy together and let's talk, have this talk together. All right? So that's like in a bit of the introduction before I bring on Paul Fadumo. So yeah. Welcome again. All right. Yes, there we go. So I think Paul Fadumo is ready for us now, and I'm going to bring him on board, and we're just going to do a little bit of introduction. And then today we're just going to talk briefly about learning, and it's going to be based on his favorite quotes. But before we do that, let's meet Paul Fadumo himself. Hello, Mr. Paul. How are you doing?
I'm good. Thank you, Ejiro.
Good to have you here.
From here.
Good to have you here. How is India today?
Yeah, it's good. It's cold.
It's getting cold, yeah?
Yeah.
Fantastic. Hey, how is Christmas out in that area? Like, do they celebrate Christmas, obviously, but like, how does it feel normally?
Well, it's currently Diwali season.
Yeah,
Diwali is the festive period, so it is celebrated wherever you see Indians who are Hindu in terms of religion. So
fantastic.
it's like a big festival here, like what you have like Christmas or the Eid in the Arab world.
I see. Interesting. Yes, even Diwali is being celebrated in UAE as well. So
Yes,
yes,
because you have a lot of Indians.
of lights. Fantastic. So I don't want to introduce you. So please do us the honors. Introduce yourself because this is you and I on this show and as going forward. So introduce yourself. Let the audience know you or see you or hear from you.
Okay, thank you. My name is Paul, as you may have seen on the screen. A lot of people call me Paul because it's, you know, not so easy for them to pronounce my other names. Okay. So, and I'm getting used to that Paul right now. I am a social worker by training and a teacher. I am the author of my experiments with common sense.
Again.
So I love to talk about common sense. I love to talk about personal development
Hmm.
and looking at the future. What does the future holds for us? I am an advocate of preparation, you know, planning and preparation as an individual. Okay,
Hmm.
and if we are able to prepare ourselves, we are able to, get ready for whatever it is that the future holds for us.
Hmm.
So I am an advocate of people should see themselves as a product. I am a product. Okay, so and then I treat my life as such.
Hmm.
There's so
Well,
much in me, but then I think
of course,
when
we're
you
going
get
to,
to
as
know,
we go on, we're going to know you better. And
sure.
even in your introduction, I'm already getting some questions like, when you talk about people preparing of like, did you prepare for 2020?
Honestly, I prepared, relatively. So because I believe that people who don't prepare, they are only getting ready to fail. So,
Technically, yes. But did you prepare? Like, how prepared were you for this 2020, the way as it has gone?
well, for me, 2020 is just one other year. It's just another year. Okay,
Interesting.
so yeah, I had something that I was doing before 2020, and I hadn't finished it, so it was just a continuation for me.
Mm,
Yeah, so I don't think I really am not an advocate of all this New Year agenda.
New
You
Year
know,
resolution.
New Year revolution or whatever it is they call it. I'm not an advocate of, because I believe that um, the minimum agenda that you should have for yourself should be maybe a 5-year plan, a 10-year plan. Just like industries do have such plans,
But at the
individuals
same,
also
but at the same
should
time,
have.
they have short-term goals. So where would you place short-term goals on a personal level if it's not
Oh,
in months and years?
of course, your short term goal might be, a 6 month thing. It might be 1 year thing,
Mhm.
But for by and large, I think it is more. It is better to prepare ahead. Long term goals, because when you look at us as Africans, I think the area we are lacking is mostly with our long term goals. I don't think we have issues with our short term goals. I
True.
don't think so. So mostly the challenge that we have is actually long term.
Hmm. Hmm. I
Yeah.
see. Okay, I will take you up on that on another episode. But for now, thank you for introducing yourself. And yes, so for me, my name is Adrian. I already did that, so you get to know me better as we go along. All right. So today, as we just start to kind of say the introduction about this show and all of that, I want to start with your favorite quote, right? I want to start with your favorite quote, Mr. Padumo, which says that the illiterate of the 21st century will not be those who cannot read and write, but those who cannot learn, unlearn, and relearn. And this quote is by Alvin Toffler. So let us take a cue from there for this first episode, just to kind of lay a foundation for how this talk is going to be going, to let people know that, see, when we say common sense talk, it means we are going to be talking about everything and anything that we have to deal with on a daily basis, from your personal improvement to marriage to relationship to parenting, right? But just kind
Yeah.
of looking at it from the angle of common sense, and how some things should be handled or can be handled, the possibilities of how to handle issues. So let's start with this particular quote. Like, what's your take on learning, unlearning, and relearning? What's the process of that? What does that look like from your own perspective?
Okay. So if it's my favorite quote. So honestly, if I have time, it's something that I can dissect in. in 2 3 hours.
Wow.
Maybe may not even be enough. Okay, so
Okay.
so when you
Let's
look
see how
at
far we can go.
Alvin Toffler himself, he's a futurist and an American writer.
Hmm.
All right, so he specializes in talking and discussing about the revolution that is coming in the areas of technology and especially in the areas of communication, because he was one of the CEOs of a magazine in New York.
Okay.
So now, when you look at that particular quotation, like I was saying, I don't know how much time I would have to be able to discuss it. I would have first of all, segment it into different parts, and then
Well,
we will now take it one by one.
one after
So
the other. Yeah, do the segmenting. Do the segmenting and take the one we can take today. So on this today's show, because it's an introductory, we don't want to punch our our audience, right? So, but let's see how far we can go. With just start the introduction. So let me say, let's talk for the on this for like the next 10 minutes. Segment it and let's see how we go for the next 10 minutes. Let's see what yeah
okay,
what you can come.
so since we are looking at the next 10 minutes, I will take just two parts of the segmentation.
Okay,
So
cool.
the first part of it is that he said the illiterate. All right. So who are the illiterate, or who is an illiterate? When you look at that in the day-to-day dictionary,
Hmm.
it will mean that somebody who cannot read and write.
Okay.
All right. But the illiterate of the previous century, those are the ones that's when it's applicable.
Hmm.
That definition of illiterate is no longer applicable now. I'm talking about in this generation, in this dispensation. All
Yeah.
right. Even though there are still people who cannot read and write, but in to some extent, it doesn't even prevent them from achieving basic goals. Like I
True.
give you an example. My grandparents, my granddad was a farmer.
Hmm.
All right. So he went to the farm throughout his life with his wife. They cannot read and write, but they survived.
Hmm.
Okay. Now, there are people in today's world who can read and write, and all they are doing is surviving, just like my grandparents survived.
Hmm. I see where you're going. Hmm.
So now, and when you look at it holistically, you find out that there is not much that such people in this century have achieved that my grandparents haven't achieved. So the definition of an illiterate, we have to look at it beyond being able to read and
Read
write,
and write.
especially when you are talking from the perspective of Alvin Toffler.
Hmm. Okay.
All right. So that is the first part of it. But I will come back to, maybe you will ask me, or maybe you will remind me.
Okay.
Then, who are the or what would be the definition of the 21st century illiterate?
Richard. Okay.
But that will be the later part of it. Now, the second part of it is 21st century. So the 21st century itself starts from year 2001, okay, to year 2100.
No. Okay.
These particular years, that's 100 years, is characterized of certain uh, peculiar features that was not there in centuries before
Yes.
this century.
Hmm.
Okay, so example of that is social media, for instance.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, advance in technology is innovation. All right, The mass media that the world is currently using. All right. So these are basic things that characterize uh, the 21st century. And
Mhm.
then, if you take it a little bit further, you look at critical thinking, you look at problem solving. All right. You look at a different style of management. So
Mhm.
I saw something recently. Let me do a little bit of digression. I saw something recently, and the person was talking about the fact that, uh, we used to say that knowledge is power.
Mhm.
Okay,
Yeah.
but the guy
Yeah.
said, he said, knowledge is no longer power in this century.
True.
So I was wondering, so what
So
is
what
power
is
then?
willpower?
Okay, and then it shocked me. He said, power now lies in the hands of people who know how to dig out, how to search for knowledge, and then they are able to distribute it. So
Mm.
it is what empowers you now is the ability to, first of all, go get the knowledge wherever it is. You may not even be able to uh, you know break it down.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Okay.
All right, you may not even be able to break it down, but then your ability to now disseminate it, the number of people you are able to disseminate it to, is what determines your followership these days, especially in the day where we talk about social media.
Mm.
So these are things that characterize 21st century.
21st century
Yeah.
literates.
So a 21st century person is, if somebody is in this century is just able to read and write. I'm telling you, that's why I'm telling you that I'm comparing that person with my grandparents who couldn't read and write.
Because an illiterate right now is no longer somebody who can just not read and write.
That's
So
my
even if
point.
you can read and write and you are not able to use that knowledge to advance yourself, you are equally an illiterate.
Exactly.
Okay.
And there is also what we call the 21st century citizens.
Mm.
Okay.
Okay.
In one of the articles that I wrote recently, I talked about the fact that if we want to be a 21st century citizen, there's certain things that we need to know. And it's not only being able to, it's not just knowing it, it's being
Mm.
able to also practicalize it.
Right.
You know,
Mm.
include these things in our basic daily activities.
Daily activities. Mm.
Yeah, because psychologists now believe that there's difference between knowing and being able to do what you know.
Of course, of course. Like seriously, there's a saying that I know that says that it is not what you don't know that is the challenge. It is what you do know, but you don't know how to use. So it's like you know this thing, but you don't know how to apply it in real life. And I think that's one major challenge that we have in Africa, right? Where people go to school to learn a thing or to learn a subject, but then to apply it in real life becomes like, okay, what's going on here?
Well, it's because what we learn in most cases are just theoretical, and they are not updated.
Mm,
There are teachers who are teaching in Africa today, whom the notes they are using was the same notes that was used 20 years ago.
there's no updates in the
There's
content.
no update. There's no update. See, at some point, the main reason I go to Facebook is because I know there's going to be an addition. I'm talking about the template.
Mm.
I'm not talking about what other
Like
people
on,
post.
I get you on Facebook itself as a platform.
Facebook itself as a platform,
Like there's always something that's being
there
updated
is
on.
always an
Yeah.
update. Do you know how I apply that to myself? I'm always asking myself, so if Facebook is as an organization, keep improving.
Mm.
So yesterday I went there. By the time I came back today,
There's
there's
something
been
different.
something new.
Mm,
So
mm.
what is it that I am applying? Am I updating myself?
What new thing are you learning on a daily basis?
Of course, because the implication of that is that I will become outdated.
True.
I will be left behind if care is not taken. So there are, okay, so I was telling some of my friends something a few years ago.
Mm.
Some people are already operating in the year 2020. But I'm telling you, there are
Before
people
you.
around the yeah, they are in the now. But there are people around the world, okay, who are still in around 1994, 95.
Ah, really?
I'm telling you. And that is just you know a reflection of what they understand about life,
Hmm.
their understanding about how the world works.
So now let me just cut you here. What is now the this process that we're talking about of learning, unlearning, and relearning? So how do you tie that together with just being the literate of the 21st century?
Okay, so learning is what we know it to be. Okay, that okay, I do not know how to use social media. Okay, so I go learn it.
Mhm.
Maybe get a smartphone, download one or two applications, ask questions or Google it.
Or YouTube
Google,
it.
how do I use this? How do you use that? Okay, that is learning. All right, but the truth remains that I was talking to my wife recently, and I was telling her that imagine where I was 10 years ago, all right, and compare that me then with me today.
Mm.
Do you understand?
Mm-hmm.
Me 10 years ago and me today. And I'm not talking in terms of what I have acquired in terms of maybe property.
Materials, yeah.
Yeah, I'm not talking in terms of how much money that I have. I'm talking in terms of how much I have understood in this world.
Right. Mm, mm,
All
mm.
right. So there was a world view that I hold back then. So I am now putting myself in front of the mirror, looking at the Paul of year 2000,
2000.
and then the Paul of year 2020.
20. Mm.
So I wrote something, just to caption this. I,
Okay.
I wrote a quotation maybe a year or two ago, and I said, if what you know 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 years ago
Mm-hmm.
is still the same thing that you know today, you've been left behind.
He did not follow rapture.
You read my mind. I was just holding myself not to say that. So I'm glad I'm not the one that said that.
That's okay. We are really here. Like this show, we are going to be as plain as possible. Yeah.
Yeah. So and there are people whose understanding of 10 years ago, 10 years ago, people, I mean, I was in a meeting where someone said uh, the man and the woman are equal. You understand me? He
Mm-hmm.
said it was a marriage seminar. He said the man and the wife, they are equal. And I told my wife, we are getting out of this meeting now. I'm not coming again.
Why?
This is, you cannot be saying to me, an African man, that a man and a woman is equal. It is impossible.
10 years ago to you.
Yeah, because see, because what I've been taught is contrary to that.
I feel
What
you.
I have what I have read up till that moment was contrary to that.
Mm,
So, but now, and now when I look back, I look at my ignorance. You understand? See,
mm.
anyway, I think we will get there in the near future where we'll talk about relationship and
Yeah,
men, woman,
definitely,
African
definitely,
men, African women. So
definitely.
that's what learning is.
Yes.
And then I think I've also talked about unlearning in what I've just said as well.
Like
Which means,
the example you gave.
yeah. So I'm hoping that the viewers would be able to decode. Uh,
The difference, I'm sure our viewers are intelligent. Ah,
yeah.
they are
So
intelligent.
okay.
Yeah, go on, please.
All right. So this is that's why I say this quotation is something that is deep. All right.
Mm.
In the past, nobody is talking about critical thinking, but today,
Those
but
are
today,
simple
it is one of the most talked about
sort of that, yeah. Even
subject.
sort of even
Yeah,
sort of skill.
yeah.
Mm.
So and previously people were talking about collaboration, but collaboration used to happen in families and
Mm.
in maybe smaller rural communities.
Communities, yeah,
Yeah, but today
it's global.
collaboration is it was one of the most sought after skills.
Mm.
So it could be bringing something that exists in the past to the present.
Hmm.
It could also be looking into the future, which we have not seen. So what Alvin Toffler was talking about is not just about the future, even though he was a futurist, but he's talking about being able to bring knowledge from different angles and then being
Mm.
able to dissect it and then use it into helping yourself today.
Mm. Mm. Fantastic. Thank you so much for explaining that. And so basically, the reason I started with that for today is just to kind of set the foundation on and set the stage to say, you see, these things that we're going to be talking about here, there are things that for some time it will look like, oh, I know this thing. But what we're coming is the thing you know, the thing that you think you know, is it still relevant in this time and age? Just like the example you use, is it still relevant to say like it feels like there are places you should go to and you should, when you remain adamant with your own ideas that oh no, men are not equal to women, you will be the one, you will be the odd one out. Because people will look at you like, excuse me, are you still in the stone age? Like, can't you see, can't you read the writings on the wall? So basically, what Common Sense Talk with Paul Fadumo on this channel is going to be covering is just trying to pick out this different areas or different topics or different thoughts from different aspects of life and just seeing how it is relevant in our time now and how we can begin to engage with those thoughts. So sometimes it's going to look like we're shattering tables of thoughts that you'd be like, I didn't see it that way, right? So these are some of the things that we're going to be talking about on this show. And I do hope that for everyone that has been able to connect one way or the other from any of the platforms, whether on Facebook or on YouTube, I hope that you've been able to pick one thing from the little introduction that we've had today And so, Mr. Paul, before we just go, what would be your last word for today? What would you like to say, so to whoever is going to watch even the replay, if they're not watching live now, to say, you know what, this is what you'll be looking out for as well. And we're going to talk to you next week not next week, sorry. We're going to talk to you on Sunday when we return on another topic this time around, a proper topic this time around.
All right. So thank you. What I would say is that every individual should keep an open mind. All
Hmm.
right. See, don't say, okay, I've already made up my mind. This is people. I think we Africans, we are used to saying, I've made up my mind. So even when they bring you facts, it doesn't matter because your
Hmm.
mind is being made. So my departing word would be, uh, keep an open mind.
Hmm.
And another thing is that do not ever be satisfied with what you think you know.
Hmm. I like that one. So always hunger for knowledge. The more you know, the actually less you know. The more you think you know, the less you actually know. That's the way the world is. So there is no end to learning. Just like the
Yeah,
saying that the day you stop learning is the day you start dying. So
sure.
keep an open mind. Never be satisfied with what you think you know. There is always more. No matter how vastly knowledgeable about a particular topic you are, there is somebody that knows more than you. There is actually fact about that subject matter that you know have no clue about, because there's always something new, about information these days. So thank you all for joining today's session. I hope that it's been informative for you. So next week we're going to be coming back. So watch out on across our social media platforms. We're going to be telling you what we'll be talking about next week during the course of the week. So please watch out for that. Please do follow us on Instagram at Spring Media News. Spring Media AE, Spring Media UAE, sorry. And then on YouTube, please subscribe to our channel, click on the subscribe button. And then on Facebook, please like our page at Spring Media UAE. And next week, we're going to be back, myself and Paul Fadumo, talking about another topic. So do look out for that on our social media handles. I'll be back next week to engage again. So also share this video, even though you're watching the replay, please do share with your friends and family. Subscribe to this channel and turn on notifications so that you're alerted every time that we put out content, because more content are going to be coming from where this one came from. Thank you so much for being here. Have a fantastic evening, and we will see you on Sunday evening, same time, same station. Yes, Spring Media UAE. See you guys on Sunday. Bye
All right.
bye.
Bye.